lovely friends, welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, hi, my name is Melissa, or Missa, welcome. Today's an exciting day. We're going to be playing with a new palette. You've guessed by the title, you can see the colour scheme. The Beauty Bay Love Notes. Now, I did not want this palette. In fact, I was like up in arms at how crap the Beauty Bay swatches looked, how ashy this looked, how dusty, the lack of depth. I was like, that's not a palette for me and I'm not going to buy it. And then one of my sausages was like, haha, Alexander, you know who you are. I was like, haha, I know you hate it so much, so I'm going to buy it for you so you have to review it. But yeah, basically Alexander, my sausage, bought it for me knowing that I didn't actually want it so that I would review it. So, cards on the table, that's what's happened. I have the palette, I have used it. We're going to do this look in this video. I'm also going to swatch the entire palette and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end of the video. I have thoughts on this palette and I have thoughts on Beauty Bay and their rubbish swatches, but what we will do is jump into my swatches. I'm just going to swatch down my arm as normal, blah blah blah, no primer, all that kind of jazz, and we're going to see what it looks like on my skin tone. I'm going to put up the swatches on screen that Beauty Bay put up as their official like swatches, which to be honest, whoever, I mean, hold on, I'm just getting my towel. Whoever thought those swatches were a good idea needs to be fired. And then I'm going to put up Kerry's swatches. That's the first swatches I saw it on, like a real person's swatches on their skin. Kerry's quite pale, probably darker than me though. And then when I first saw her swatches, I was like, wow, okay, this actually looks more interesting than Beauty Bay made it look. I haven't actually, as of yet, seen swatches of this on deeper skin. I cannot imagine that this palette is going to work on deeper skin. Like, some of the shimmers will, and the pastels may show up really bright, but this palette overall is very, like, I feel made for pale people. And I pointed that out in a comment on like Beauty Bay's Instagram, or it was Trendmood's Instagram. Someone was like, well, us pale people don't have enough makeup. And I was like, right, sure. No, we don't. Swatches from Beauty Bay were crap. Kerry's looked good. We'll swatch it together, although you've probably seen swatches, but I always swatch anyway. Then I'll do this look, and then I'll give you my final thoughts at the end of this video. So, did I even open the palette yet? I'm so bad for doing this in reviews. Here we go. £15, Love Notes palette. Valentine's kind of themed, I guess, since it's that time of year. Let's start. First of all, we have Corset. Cotton. I mean, what person of even medium skin tone are they going to be good on? Chandelier, which is a Shim Shim. I will hold these up closer so you can see them as well. Angel. I mean, even on my skin tone, they're like blending in. Cheeks. It's actually quite a pretty colour. We're on the next row. We've got Mahogany. Candlestick. Soap. It's a weird name for a colour. Soap. Oh, and I definitely wore a purple top on purpose for this look, obviously. Bellini. Lovely cocktail. Love a cocktail. Put alcohol in anything though and I'll drink it. I'm Scottish. Flush. Yeah, so that's the first two rows. That's a pretty colour as well. And that's the first two rows of the palette. So very, very pale. Very pale. Like, I actually tried to use some of these as blushes on me and they were too pale for that, which I was quite surprised. But the only depth there is Mahogany, which I'm not really going to reach for in this palette, am I? But yeah, that's the first two rows. Just, I mean, it's okay to do like a pastels palette and stuff like that, but this isn't a pastels palette. So we'll move on to the next rows. We've got, a bit of staining, we've got Pillow. It's a really pretty shade actually. Lavender. As always with Beauty Bay, to be honest, they swatch really nice. I'm not having any issues. What's this called? Princess. Handkerchief. This is the one I ended up using as a blush and it was still like too pale. Cupid. We have Lilac. do just love purples. I thought that was called Spank. Spark. Spark. Then we have Glove. I obviously used this shade a lot today. Confetti. Ruby. So that, Mahogany and Glove are like the only tones of any depth in this palette. So yeah, that is the two bottom rows. A lot more depth than the first two offered us. Also more colour with the purples. I mean, honestly, each and every individual shade bar this Cupid shade and the dark brown, I think they're all stunning shades. I just think together as a palette, it's a little bit, I don't know, hard to use because there's not a lot of like depth or medium tones to blend out. It's very, very light shades and then shimmers. That's the palette swatched. Again, like I said, Beauty Bay quality wise swatches are always really decent, so I think that swatched really well. So what we're going to do now is jump into me doing this look here. I totally just stabbed myself in the eye with my thumb. This look is hugely stolen from, influenced by Kerry, one of my gorgeous sausages, this look here that's on the screen, and also my other sausage, Emily, who did this look, and I've kind of combined the two, added my own twist on it, but basically I was struggling so hard with what to do with this palette that I had to add all the liners and gems and stuff to make it even like slightly interesting, and I got that idea from Kerry and Emily. I'll leave their Instagrams down below, they're incredible. So yeah, let's jump into this look and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Oh, hey friends, look at me, cozy in my pajamas. Got my little Red Bull, it's actually quite tasty. And I was just about to start and then look what happened. Sausage knocked over my Z palette. I was in distress and he does not give a monkey's. I'll do it again, mother. Just try me, try me. Distraught. Anyway, we're starting off with one of the only dark shades in this palette, and I'm just doing a bit of a chuckle brother measurement here to try and make sure it matches the other side. So I'm just using like a really skinny little brush, which was a stupid idea because it was too skinny to actually be effective. And I'm just packing this colour on in the shape. This is a really great purple. Honestly, the quality is great and it is dark enough, but the brush wasn't giving it. So you can see with this brush, like a more dense pointy brush, although my camera is focusing on my mirror. The colour is really great and you'll see it later on as well. It's a really great purple. Again, well, I don't think I said it in the intro, I don't have any qualms with the quality. So then I'm going to mix Glove and Lilac, I think it's called Lilac, yeah, on my brush, and then just use that to blend this out. Again, my biggest gripe is that there's no mid-tone blending shades with this, so you have to kind of mix them on your brush, and it's not ideal because it's really hard to get a perfect blend, but we go on, we deal with what we're given, and then I'm just using that Lilac shade on its own to blend the top. And it's not a perfect blend, but I think because I'm going in with the gems, like you can't really tell that much, so it's like not that big of a deal. So I'm just using some eyeshadow primer to try and get these to match, which is always the big thing, but to be honest, I don't think this look actually came out that bad in the end. I don't have to put a heap on because we're going to actually wipe it off, and because I'm like not being lazy today, I actually did take a cotton bud and I took the excess off. See, here's me getting it myself. Look at me, professional. It's because I'm going in with a sheen liner that's really pale, and if you put it over eyeshadow, I feel like you don't really see it. Anyway, these are some Amazon gems, and this is my Shop Miss A eyelash glue, which I'm now obsessed with, by the way. And because it's got a tiny wee brush, I can just pop the glue straight on my eye and then pop the gems on top. So actually this only took like a minute, and usually gems take forever. Although this one, why didn't I edit that out? That one was being a pain in the bum. But yeah, this is very Emily inspired, putting the gems along like this, and I also thought it's going to help the fact that I don't think I've got a good blend here. Yeah, but I mean, gems are always great, aren't they? Sheen Epic Liner, what other brand do I use? None. Polka Dot, got so much makeup on my fingers and my nails, don't look at it. This can be super messy, which it totally is, like my application is messy, because you can totally clean it up and it doesn't matter like what's going on down here. This is just a wee paintbrush that I'm using. It's a great liner. I actually started off with white. Anyway, I've put primer on and I'm going back in with that glove shade and I'm doing this like winged out styly a la Kerry. I had to use other people's inspo for this because I was struggling so much with this palette, like what to do with it. Anyway, you can see it packs on really well, and I'm just using the side of this angled brush, which is not ideal, but it's really packing on. It's great. I was going to say fingering it there, using my finger to blend it, and then I'm going to use lilac and this like kind of periwinkle kind of colour. I do love the tones of the light purples in here, like they're kind of blue purples, and they're really pale and really beautiful. They are quite unique. So there's a lot of good things to this palette, but there's a lot of annoying things. And then I'm just trying to blend them together. The pastels are so strong and so pigmented that they completely cover up like what you're doing, but that's okay because I always go dark to light and then I'll go back and blend everything together anyway. Like my eyeshadows takes me longer because I do it in this way. And then Princess, again, is kind of like a periwinkle-ish purple. It's just very pretty, and I'm starting off with my finger, just packing it on. I didn't even want it to be like that intense shimmer, or I would have used it wet, but I just wanted kind of a hint of the shim on the lid, and I'm dragging it into the matte eyeshadow as well. And then I took a brush and applied it. See, when I look at my makeup, I'm like, it doesn't even look that good, Melissa. But I feel like in real life, it looks more blended. Is that an excuse? Yeah, probably. Let's be honest. Sorry if you can hear the dog. He's trying to get me to play with his toy right now. Puppy, not right now. Not right now. You lovely, lovely boy. Wow, this is a long clip. Do you want me to sing you a song? Just to pass the time? Pretty sure I meant to edit that out. Anyway, another sheen liner. This time we're going in with bubblegum. And I'm doing this. It's quite messy on camera, but I like obviously go off camera and like refine everything and make it nicer looking. Top and bottom, join it up. I just couldn't have done this look without it, without something else. And then the only extra thing I'm adding is this black eyeshadow. It's ABH Noir, of course it is, and it's only to blend this black eyeliner into my eyeshadow, because without it, it just looked just very unblended. So please forgive me for using it, but as you can see, very minimally. Bit of primer on the lower lash line. And then look, jumbo eye pencil and milk from NYX. That's a throwback. Wow, really pigmented. I love it. I'm kind of doing like the doll eyes on the bottom, so just like doing my eyeshadow like a couple of millimeters below my actual lash line in a second. But first of all, I'm going in with Cotton. I'm just popping that in the inner corner. Just, it's the palest matte in there, and I'm definitely going to use glitter on top of it. But anyway, yeah, so just popping my eyeshadow like, I don't know, a few millimeters down from my actual lash line, so it's just the dark purple, and then blending it out with a bit of the other purples. Yeah, I mean, I probably should use the reds. Anyway, this is Lime Crime Confetti. Don't think you can get it anymore, but it's my favourite glitter that I've got, and mine's almost dried out. So if you can find a seller that's selling one secondhand, please let me know, because I need another one, just for a bit more interest. That is the eyes. I'm obviously going to go off and put a brow on, and I did a glitter brow because Amy asked me to, and my lashes and stuff, including lower lashes, as you can see. And yeah, I mean, we should be getting to that in a second, I hope. Man, I feel like I'm just talking crap. What even oh, there we go. Look at that. Put more gems on, bit more glitter on the inner corner. The lashes are on. I actually really like how this look came out overall. But yeah, thoughts on this palette? I do have some. Okay, makeup is done, and I've got to say, I absolutely love it. I love how my makeup's come out today. My eyes don't perfectly match, but I don't care. It's gonna photograph cute. I love it. I love the colour stories, the purples, the pale purple, the pinks, the gems, the glitter brows as suggested by my sausage Amy. Like, I really like this look. If you're wondering, my lip, by the way, is Violet Smoke by NYX. I just thought, keep it monochromatic, and I just thought that was quite pretty actually. Right, my thoughts on this palette. It is too pale overall. There's 3 shades of any depth, and then there's no medium tones to blend those shades out, so it doesn't make any sense in my head. I, like you saw, had to add a black eyeshadow just to blend out my liner. To be fair, if I hadn't done the liner, I wouldn't have had to add that, but for me to use this palette on a day-to-day basis, I would have to add a black to get any kind of depth, and then I'd have to go into another palette and get medium tones to blend out, because you've got this dark purple here, which is a pretty dark purple, it's a good one, and then the next shade, like in my mind, to blend it out is this, and there's just far too much difference between them. There needs to be a shade in the middle. In terms of like positives, incredible quality. Honestly, I'd give it 10 out of 10. I've got no issues with the quality. Beauty Bay's eyeshadow formula is the absolute tits. It is the bee's knees. I would collaborate with them in a heartbeat to make an eyeshadow palette, because the quality is honestly always phenomenal. So if you love this colour story and it really speaks to you, then definitely get it, because the quality is literally 10 out of 10. I've got no issues with it. However, I just feel like it's not very cohesive. There's too many tones missing, too many light tones in there for it to make a lot of sense. Like for me, it would be a palette that I used with another palette or with a few single shadows so that I could add depth and then mid-tones. Like, had I not added the gems, had I not added eyeliner, I would have been another day giving up trying to play with this palette, because I tried to play with it a few days ago, couldn't do anything good with it, thought it was crap, wiped it off. So I really struggled with it, to be quite honest, and usually I feel like I'm like pretty decent at like putting eyeshadow colours together. But if you're not someone that needs a lot of depth and you don't want to do that and you want to do just a light wash of colour, excellent palette for that as well. So yeah, I've got my thoughts. I think there's pros and cons to this palette. Alexander thought I was going to absolutely hate it and destroy it. I'm not gonna, because the quality is phenomenal. I just think the colour story is lacking, and I don't understand who made the decisions to not put some other tones in there, and also not really make it inclusive for anyone of like darker skin than light skin. Like, I don't know, I guess all palettes can be used by everyone, but if it's actually going to show up on deeper skin, I think it needs more depth. How many times have I said depth in this video? Who actually knows? I'm not going to count it. So that is my thoughts on the love notes. Quality 10 out of 10, colour story baffling. What did you think of the palette when you first saw it, and then when you saw other people's swatches, what did you think of it? So yeah, that's going to be all for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a cheeky thumbs up, go on. Leave me a comment down below. Did you buy it? Did you hate it as much as I did when you first saw it? If you changed your mind, what are you going to do about it? Subscribe if you haven't already. I put out 3 videos a week, and on Wednesdays I go live either by myself or with a sausage, just for my sausages, which is my Patrons. The link is down below in the description box. Tomorrow I will be live with Heather at 6:30 p.m. and I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, that's going to be all from me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I will catch you on the flip side. Bye!